I'm a big fan of being your own biggest fan. I say it all the time. If nobody loves Kyle, Kyle loves Kyle. Because how do you expect people to follow you if you're not even following you? I want to be so sure of myself and so sure in what I'm doing that people want to follow me. People want to listen.
The Pursuit of Greatness, I am here for the final episode, our season finale, and it's been an amazing series. It's been an amazing series, and I'm excited to get it wrapped up and get this episode going, but I am here with, I would say, a special guest, but he's no guest.
No guest.
He's no guest. He is my co-founder. He's my business partner. He is the head of client relations at JC Baker Management. My brother, Kyle Logan. What's good?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
It's good to have you on here.
Appreciate
And it's amazing because just looking back on the years, we interviewed you, on our other podcast, and it's pretty much 2 years ago. It was October 31st, 2016, which is coming up. October 31st is coming up.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much here. So it's basically 2 years ago we interviewed you. And you definitely look different.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many pounds you think you're down?
I'm down 32 pounds since last
And
year.
if you guys go back and watch that old episode, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Right, you'll see it. Even the videos that you were doing, the Cal Speaks videos with us, you could tell a crazy difference.
Feel better, man. Feel good.
You look better.
Feel good, bro.
You just look healthier. You look like an athlete again.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Cal was a hooper. Wow. You was a hooper, bro. And, you can definitely tell now. You got to get back on the court and start doing some stuff.
I told you, any pickup games or rec leagues, I'm there, man.
He's back.
I'm back.
He's back. But let's talk about what you have going on right now. Like, talk about JC Baker Management that just released and got going.
Yeah, just
so go
really,
ahead and give
really
some
got
details
that
on that. Give some details.
What it is, JC Baker is a business consulting firm, and me and my guy Ali Barnes, with just the connections that we have business-wise, and just different relationships with some high quality people we have, with JC Baker with JC Baker and Associates. It just made sense, man, to add a sports management division. And me and Ali being passionate about sports and both being former college athletes and still loving the game, it just made sense. And I always still wanted to be around the game, and it's now finally coming back full circle to I'm back in sports, man, but just not as a player this time, on the other side of it, which I really enjoy because I get to see the full circle of sports and everything now.
Right.
So I enjoy it, bro.
Because a lot of times when you're playing, you don't really see the business side of it.
No, you're not focused on that at all. And it really is a really big business. So just seeing all the different sides of it's really complex and it's deep, and I love sports. So I'm glad to be embarking on this new journey, man.
Absolutely, man. That's great, man. I already know great things are going to happen with that. You and Ali are some hard workers.
Absolutely.
But I think it's very interesting that, like TD Jake says, sometimes when you're doing something and you give it your all, sometimes it's not if it doesn't end up being the thing, it'll be the thing that leads
you to the thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because as an athlete, it didn't go like you wanted it to go. Talk about that.
Man, okay, so I played basketball at Manchester University in Indiana, and I did. I thought I was going to be there for 4 years, hopefully do my thing and see what happens, maybe opportunity to go overseas, or I don't know. But as I've shared many times, my career was cut short. My sophomore year, I got kicked off, and I was bitter. I was bitter about basketball. I didn't want to be around it. I was bitter with sports because it was my first love, and just to have it taken from me, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. So I finally am over that, because you can't move forward until you put stuff behind me.
Exactly.
Holding grudges is, you control what you can control, and I can't control what happened, 4 years ago, so it's time to let that go. And once I really, came to terms with letting that go, I was able to find my love and passion in the game again. And, I took it from a different point of view. And I still had my relationships, connections that, from being an athlete, from playing. So now just to be able to switch that and be on the business side of it and, help my friends and help other athletes that I know, knowing what I know now, it's a blessing.
And that really just shows, there's so many things you can get from sports. Like I said, if it's not a thing, it'll be the thing that leads to the thing. the relationships that you build,
man, yeah.
you know, like the experiences you have, the relationships and the life lessons you learn. But for you, the relationship part really helped you transition into what you're doing right now.
Man, relationships have been everything to me. I've been really blessed that because I made some really strong, you know, genuine relationships with some people who are, you know, still athletes and in that world, that it's opened doors for me. Relationships has truly opened doors for me, and I've been a people person, man. Like I love people. I love people's story. I love helping people. So relationships has really been everything for me. Really been everything.
And then that just goes to show you, like, sports is more than just playing.
No, it's more than a game.
It's more than a game. And, you know, you hear people say that, and it's like, oh, it becomes cliche. Like,
right.
What do you mean it's more than a game? But it truly is
more than
a
yeah,
game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so, congratulations to you.
Appreciate it, bro.
A lot of great things, like I said, is going to happen with that. But Kyle is also the head of apparel.
Yes, sir.
For Under Pressure. Yes. You know, as you see, we got some apparel on. We got the pocket logo tees right there. You know, and then I got on the hooded tee with the UP logo on it. And, you know, you've running that and stuff like that. Talk about that. Talk about the apparel side real quick.
Well, you know, that's been fun because I love fashion.
Right.
I love fashion, I love style, and I like to dress and look good. So, you know, running the apparel side has been really, really fun. You know, our journey last year, and we tried to do the streetwear. You know, we kind of had to tweak and make some changes, but it all comes back to sports. Like, that really has been the thing to elevate. So having an athletic brand and working in, you know, sports management now, it's just really fun how my life truly is sports. But with the athletic brand, I mean, I love the sleek look. You know, we got a couple new designs, just the way it fits. I really think that this is going to be it. So make sure you guys check us out on underpressure.com, shop, and go stop by the Cure Cincinnati and buy your Under Pressure gear, man.
Absolutely, man. And like you said, it's funny how it all comes back to sports, but as we grow, as we continue to learn, what I'm going to realize is that what we're doing is we're using sports
right.
as a tool, as to try to inspire people, to motivate people, and do what we're doing. You know what I mean? And so with the interview series and because the whole point of the interview series, what we were trying to do is trying to capture people's journeys, right? And show that it's not all glitz and glamour.
Not at all.
Right? There's ups and downs, there's highs and lows, and, you know, talking about, like, I had an opportunity to be on the radio.
Yes, sir.
Right? Talking about the brand, shout out to 101.5, The Soul, and I was class in session, that's what the show was called, and I was able to talk about how they asked me, well, okay, where did the name Under Pressure come from? And I'm sure a lot of people are curious about that,
of course.
It comes from the process of a diamond, right? Yeah. And a diamond has a process it goes through before it becomes a diamond, right? It has to go through extreme heat, has to go under extreme pressure, then you got to cut it, and then the process is done. And once it goes through the full process, it can't be broken.
Can't be broken.
Right? And so we talk about, our whole theme is trusting the process, right? Getting through, persevering, getting through obstacles, challenges, and all of that stuff, because life is full of challenges. It never ends.
Life is full of pressure.
Exactly.
Life is full of pressure.
And there never gets to a point where you're like, I've made it to the point where I'm never going to have any more pressure, no more obstacles, no more challenges. That's a part of life, right? And once you realize that, now you can strengthen yourself. Okay, this is part of it. I can get over this, right? And so that's what our entire brand is about. And sports is really a metaphor for life.
Yeah.
You know, it's a metaphor for life. Yeah. The life lessons you learn and all of that stuff, it's a metaphor for life. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're creating a brand, and even though it's a sports brand, it's a lifestyle brand.
It's for everybody,
yeah.
Everybody can relate to being under pressure.
Exactly.
I always say you grow through what you go through. And the process, you know how we always say trust the process. Everybody has a process. Everybody goes through pressure. Everybody has to trust their process to come out that diamond. So yeah, you're right. It is a sports brand, but it really is for everybody because it's something that everybody can relate to. Absolutely,
absolutely. And you know, we have so many great things coming for Under Pressure too, because this, even though this is the end of the series, you know, we have so many other great things. Short films coming, documentaries, and there's still interviews that's going to happen.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're just going to be different kinds of interviews. It's not going to be on a certain day. It's not going to be at a certain time. We have certain people that, okay, we want to interview this person. We'll interview them. You see what I'm saying? Right. But it's just not going to be like a every Monday type thing. But I'm telling you, a lot of great things are still going to come when it comes to Under Pressure from the TV side. The apparel is still going to be going. And then from the athletic standpoint, we have a vision for under pressure athletics,
we do.
right? And certain things and that we want to do, from maybe clinics to workshops to camps to stuff like that. So guys, definitely be on the lookout for that stuff there. And so I want to get into now basically a wrap up and talking about each episode just smallly, because in case somebody never seen any episode so far, and this is the only episode they see, I want to be able to give them a little taste of each episode.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So the first person we interviewed was Trey T.
Celebrity barber Trey T.
Yeah. Shout out to him, the GOAT. And one thing that I got from him, man, is his whole brand is no regular, right? Which is amazing. His brand is about to take off like crazy. So many great things are going to happen from him. And when he went out of town for the Summer League, he was cutting people's heads, people that played in the NBA and trainers and all types of people. I thought it was amazing that he said he went up there and there's people that he cut that he didn't know he was going to cut.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so it shows you that you always got to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
You always got to be ready.
Because if you stay ready, you never have to get ready.
Exactly.
And you never know, man, because opportunity waits for nobody. And you know, you only have one time to make that first impression. You get one chance to make a first impression. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Exactly. You never know. And that goes for athletes, that goes for entrepreneurs, that goes for whatever you do.
Life.
Videographers, right? You never know when somebody like, hey, you got your camera on you? And you know, you can ask Montel. I'm sure he went through those moments where somebody like, you got your camera on you now? And if you don't have it, it's like,
can't never get that, you know, time's the one thing you can never get back, man.
Exactly. And if you got it, that might be your big shot.
That might be it.
You never know. I always tell people, like, you don't know who you're talking to. You ever get on the elevator and you just stand next to the person, you never say nothing to them? You don't know. That could have been the CEO of this business. This could have been a so-and-so or so-and-so. He might have knew somebody that could have. You never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're going to run into.
Absolutely.
So like you said, if you stay ready.
Ever have to get ready.
You never have to get
ready.
When that opportunity comes, it's too late.
Too late.
It's too late. Like Kevin Hart, I watched a video of him. He was talking about how, like, you know, a lot of people want the light at the end of the tunnel, but when that opportunity comes, a lot of people ain't even ready. Everybody's like, I'm waiting for my moment. I'm waiting for my opportunity. Now realizing your opportunity actually came 2 days ago, but you weren't ready, so you don't even know it came. You see what I'm saying? Some of your greatest opportunities are ones you didn't even know you had. It came, you weren't ready, it left.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
And so, amazing episode by Trey. Shout out to him. Our second one was Kyrie Burton.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to him. BTB, be the best. His business, his brand, his music. He's doing amazing things. They actually just dropped a music video. Shout out to Montel. What was the song, Montel? Go ahead and shout it out to me.
Killing Me.
Killing Me?
Yeah.
Killing Me.
It was Brian.
Brian's
song.
Brian. Oh, okay, so it was Brian's song. Yeah. Brian Robb. Okay, shout out to him. Kyrie was featured on it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so, man, they're doing their thing with BTB. And I remember with him, the BTB movement is all about being the best version of yourself.
Right, right.
All right, so you don't have to compete with other people, but you have to be the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so one thing that he said that just was amazing to me was, it's not about believing you can do something. It's about knowing you can do something, right? And so, you know, when you know, it's different. When you put that in your mind, like, okay, I know I can do this. It's different. Talk about that, the power of confidence, of not just saying, I believe I can do it, but saying, you know what, I know I can do this.
I'm a big fan of being your own biggest fan. I say it all the time. If nobody loves Kyle, Kyle loves Kyle. Because how do you expect people to follow you if you're not even following you? I want to be so sure of myself and so sure in what I'm doing that people want to follow me. People want to listen. So I think BTB and being the best version of yourself and not believing but knowing, that's key, because you can't lead unless like you have that confidence. Confidence is everything. You don't even have to know what you're talking about. If you go to somebody, you have that confidence and you talk like you know what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay, like, oh, this man sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
Rather than, I don't know. No, like, you have to be your own biggest fan. Right. You have to be your own biggest fan.
So episode number 3 was the one and only trainer, Pat Coyne.
Pat Coyne, man, that was a great episode.
Great episode,
great
man.
episode.
And his whole phrase, remember, is nobody cares.
Work harder.
Nobody cares, work harder. Because he going through what he went through, and when he his football career ended, and he realized, like, man, nobody came and like patted me on my back, like, like, oh, is Pat okay? Nobody did that, and he realized, like, wow, nobody cares. You just got to work harder.
Life waits for nobody. And Pat's story was really, really inspiring because I connected with his story, on a personal level with a lot of things. And he's right. A lot of the things he was saying, I'm like, wow, like I've dealt with that in my personal life and my own experience. And they don't. Life waits for nobody. And when you're down, you really see, like, people don't care.
Right.
So it's up to you to get yourself up and work harder, because at the end of the day, it's a cold world we live in, man. And nobody's going to pick you up when you're down. A lot of people are going to try to step harder, man.
Right.
Step harder. So nobody cares. Work harder.
Absolutely,
like
man. And he even went to say, like, the road to greatness, the road to achieving all that you want is not all sunshine and glitter.
Absolutely
and
not.
Great things.
Grab your umbrella.
Exactly.
Grab your umbrella.
Grab your umbrella, because there's going to be rain, there's going to be storms, right? But you've got to be able to push through it. Push through it. It's going to be adversity, man. And so shout out to Pat, still doing great things with Black Sheep Performance. But episode 4, the one and only Cashmere Wright. Cashmere. He doing his training with One Vision Academy and all of that stuff. And that was amazing as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we interviewed him before, right? And his story of when he got cut in high school, right? And then that very next year he came back, and now he's ranked like #1 in the state that he was in. I'm like, how do you do that, right? But he was talking about how he told himself that would never happen to him again, right? He told himself, like, yeah, I got cut, and I told myself, you know what? I'm not gonna let this happen again.
And the things he sacrificed. Remember we talked about he was making what? Hour and a half drive, like, just to practice, and everybody else is going out on the weekends, and he's perfecting his craft. Like, that's sacrifice.
That's sacrifice. And you got, and that's important, man. A lot of people say that they want something. A lot of people act like they want to be great, but greatness, it sounds cool.
Everybody wants to be great until it's time to do what great people do.
Exactly.
That's when you find out who really wants to be great.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to be great.
Absolutely, bro. Because it's like, I want to be great, but I don't want to sacrifice. I don't want to make a commitment. I don't want to have to wake up early and go to sleep late. I don't want, I don't want the blood, sweat, and tears.
I just want to be great.
I just want to be great because it sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds
just
good.
like an entrepreneur.
Man, being an entrepreneur now is like becoming a trend. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Like, it's the new thing. But it's a grind. It's a process. It's not, it's ups and downs. It's hard, man. We know that.
Bruh.
As many bumps in the road we've had and things you have to overcome, being an entrepreneur is hard.
Exactly.
So that pursuit of greatness truly is not easy.
It's not easy.
And it's not a road for everybody. And the weak, their path will end up, getting detoured at some point. So kind of weeding itself out. But, it's a real thing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Episode 5 with the one and only, our guy, Diamond Hall.
Diamond Hall,
right?
man.
Mental toughness coach.
That boy's tough.
That boy's tough, man. He's definitely doing his thing. And the main thing that he talked about was controlling your focus, right? He said a lot of people, when it comes to mental toughness, with sports, because he does it with baseball at what was it, Wright State, right?
Yeah, Wright State.
And so he was talking about how with athletes, athletes' main thing is they don't know how to control their focus. They don't know how to focus on the present, the now. They're either thinking about what happened the last play, they're thinking about what's going to happen the next play, they're thinking about the people in the stands. They're focusing on everything but the things they can control. He said once you can control your focus on the things that you can actually control, that's when you'll be your best. That's when you'll be at your best. And I think that's amazing, just in life in general, how you were talking about how you were so stuck in the past with sports.
So stuck in the past, man.
And it made you bitter.
Oh, absolutely.
And you couldn't go on.
And it was withholding me from my blessing.
It was withholding you from your blessing.
My blessing.
And so that's just a lesson to show you, like, don't be on the past. Don't be on the future. Because the only way to redeem the past is by the present.
Absolutely.
The only way to control the future is by the present. So if you're really concerned about those things, you need to be focused on the present.
And controlling what you can control.
Absolutely. Not the things outside of, your boat, right? And if you look at a boat, right, when a boat sinks, right, or a ship sinks, it's not because of anything except for the fact that the water that was on the outside gets on the inside. So you have to control, you have to make sure I don't let the outer stuff get into my mind. Once it gets on the inside of you, that's when you'll drown. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the outside. Just don't let it get on the inside.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so shout out to Diamond Hall and all he's doing. We're going to continue to be doing work with him for sure.
For sure.
But episode 6 was my guy Matt, I believe. Matt
Corporate.
from Corporate. And his episode was amazing because his journey and his story, and I related to that because he lost his friend. You know, we lost Will, and he lost his friend, and that really inspired him and motivated him to do his thing. And he always talked about, you know, he had his doubts and his trials and tribulations, but he said, man, at the end of the day, you just got to try. You just got to try. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, it may be hard. Yeah, you may not be sure, but maybe you'll never be sure. So at the end of the day, the one thing you could probably do yourself a favor for is just try.
Try.
Just try. You know, you may not know all the information. Well, I remember when we first started the podcast.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were doing all the way. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we tried.
Try. And it ended up being pretty successful
Yeah,
for us. I mean, we went international.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we went international all the way in Wales, man.
Yeah, man, we sure did, man. And so if for somebody that may be watching that's not sure right now about going for what they're trying to do, just try, man.
Just try.
And maybe it doesn't work out. But it may not be the thing, but like we said, it'll be the thing.
It leads you to the thing.
It leads you to
Absolutely.
the thing, right? But if you never try, you'll never know.
Never know.
And that's when you have regret, right? Another thing that Matt was talking about was significance over success.
Yeah.
He said success is what you have for yourself. Significance is what you can bring to others. You know, and so, you know, it really had me thinking, and, you know, because we all want success, right? When you think about the pursuit of greatness, right, a lot of people think greatness is success. You see what I'm saying? What you have for yourself. And, you know, you look at LeBron James, and yeah, he's LeBron James, the basketball player. But what he does outside of the court, what he brings to others with his school and with him giving back and all of this stuff, he has a Uninterrupted, he's a part of that, all right, that media company. All of these other things, that all the value he's bringing outside of the court, that's where his greatness is. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, as with us, right, we are not just trying to do this for a paycheck.
No.
You know what I mean? Because if we were, we probably would have quit a long time
A long time ago, yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Long time ago.
Because, you know, that will not be enough to motivate you. Because you can make money a lot of different ways. You can make money doing something you don't love doing. So when you're doing something you truly enjoy doing and you're trying to bring value to other people, then you chase significance.
I think that's what a lot of people base success off of, you know, monetary value. I started, you know, just this new mindset, and I started telling myself I was no longer going to base my success off of a dollar amount. Because I'm, you know, more successful now than I was when I had, you know, a little bit more money in my pocket.
Right.
And I think success should be based off of growth. You know, you don't want to be stagnant in anything that you do. So if you know, there's, like you said, there's a million ways to make money, but that doesn't make you successful.
Right.
I think success is based off of your growth and what you do for other people. And so that's how I started looking at success. It's not a dollar amount, but the value I'm bringing, the growth I'm having, and what I'm doing for others.
Absolutely.
That's success.
And so, you know, we all can ask ourselves every single day when we wake up, right? We all need to ask ourselves, how can I bring value to others?
Bring value to other people.
Like how can I bring, not in a year, not 2 years, not when I become a millionaire. No. Today, how can I bring value to other people? You know what I mean? That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, the episode 7,
Yeah.
right? Episode 7 was with the one and only Macho Means. Shout out to Macho.
Black owned.
Black owned. You know, musical artist, entrepreneur. They even have Black coffee.
Yeah,
coffee
yeah.
shop.
Really making noise, man. Really
making noise and making moves.
He gets my entrepreneurial juices flowing, man.
Absolutely.
I catch so many ideas from him, and I really love what he's doing in the city too, man. Like, sits down. He's in the same room with, you know, politicians in the city. Like, really represent, man. So shout out to Black owned Macho Means.
Absolutely. And some of the things he talked about was, of course, greatness is like releasing all that you have to the world. He was talking about the coffee shops. He was talking about his songs. He's talking about the Black-owned brand. We all have a bunch of things in our minds, right, that we have that we need to release to the world.
Have to.
You know, we have to release to it. I remember there's a little like a little story that I meant to tell in that episode, but I just couldn't think. I just forgot to tell it. But Montel reminded me afterwards. And the story goes like, imagine you're on your deathbed, right? and around you are the ghosts of all their dreams and goals and aspirations that you never went for.
Oh, wow.
Imagine you're on your deathbed and all of the ghosts of all the things, businesses you didn't start, right? Dreams you didn't go after, right? Relationships that you didn't go after. All of these things just sitting around your bed looking at you like only you could have given us life. Only you could have given us life. But now we must die with you forever.
That's deep.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's deep.
You know what I mean? And so, and I think it was Les Brown, I want to say, the motivational speaker. And when I first saw that, I was like, wow. Because they say what? The cemetery is the most wealthiest place on earth.
Yeah.
Because it's business, multi-billion-dollar businesses never started.
In the grave.
In the grave. Relationships, families never started. In the grave. Of freaking dreams and all of these things. Books never written. In the grave. Right? Because of what? A lot of times, what Macho said, fear. He said we are all our greatest when we're not afraid. And talk about that, Cal. Talk about fear and getting past fear, man.
Fear. Oh, man. Fear is the root of all evil. Yeah. Because you're right. Like, fear can cause you to not take that chance that you need to do that. You may have the next big thing because of fear. You know, I used to battle with fear. I still battle with fear every day. Like, you know, one of my sayings is, I want to be great. And so, me being great, I'm like, okay, I can't fail at anything. But that's fear.
Right.
But sometimes you have to fail on your you know, pursuit to greatness.
Absolutely.
So fear is just one of those things that it's always going to be in the back of your mind, but you have to find a way to fight that, get over it, because it can hold you back and block you from your destiny.
Absolutely.
And I believe that everybody has a gift. Everybody has a gift and has something to offer this world. And there's somebody out there who needs your gift. And fear may, you know, cause you to block your blessing and miss your gift to the world. So,
man, and that's so true, man. I mean, fear is like, think about it. If you think about faith, right? Faith is believing in the things
you cannot see.
And fear is believing in the things you cannot see.
Cannot see.
Right? So it's really all a choice, man. It's really all a choice because, like I said, you know, you're going to have times where you're not sure. Times where you're nervous, times where you're doubting. It's part of the journey, right? But it's those people who are able to get past that, right? I'll never forget Kobe said he always got butterflies every time he was about to run on the court. You know what I mean? And you know, you hear people say for the big shot, like, you know, you at the free throw line with 1 second left, right? And people are like, oh, you hit it, right? There's multiple times where I've been in that position and I made the shot, right? And people come to me and they're like, were you nervous, right? And I'm like, and when I was younger, I was like, nah, man, you know, they like, oh, I knew you weren't nervous, bro. You clutch. But then as I get older, you know, I'm like, and to be honest, I was super nervous at that free throw line. And that's okay. You know what I mean? Because being clutch is not about not being nervous.
No.
Being clutch is, okay, feeling that emotion and still doing it.
Still doing it.
Feeling that nervousness and still being able to say, I'm still going to dominate.
I'm still going to do this, yeah.
You know, sometimes you're going to be afraid. Like if you're a speaker and you're about to walk out on stage, you might be a little scared, like a little nervous, right? But clutchness is saying, you know what? I'm about to walk on the stage and dominate, even with this emotion.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you're going to have emotions. Emotions come and go. But being able to get past that emotion, that's being clutch.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And so, okay, episode 8 was with the one and only Keith Tabron.
Keith.
All right, Keith Tabron, The Cure, Cincinnati.
Cure Columbus is on its way.
Cure Columbus is on its way. So shout out to them, man. In less than a year, they're expanding to their second location, which is amazing. Right? I've interviewed him twice. But
even the growth from just the first interview, man,
dude,
it's crazy.
It's super crazy.
It's crazy.
I can't even believe, you know, but they work hard, man. And they work hard. But you know what Keith does is he honors his craft.
He puts everything into his craft.
Dude, and that was the title of the episode, right? Was honor your craft. You know, because he was talking about he doesn't like to disappoint. He doesn't like to let people down. He doesn't like when somebody walks in the store and the shoe is not lined up perfectly, or they don't have the size that the person wanted. He doesn't want to disappoint. And I think a lot of people are doing stuff for themselves, so they're not honoring their craft because they're trying to get money out of it instead of actually bringing value. Right? So talk about, Cal, the importance of honoring your craft. You know, E.T. talks about it all the time. You know, let's talk about that.
The importance of honoring your craft, man. You have to truly be obsessed. E.T. talks about being obsessed, and I truly believe you have to be obsessed with your craft. You have that. There has to be something that motivates you every day. Because there's some days, man, you wake up and you're just like, But I think, if you really honor your craft and are obsessed with your craft, that's going to be your motivation to get up every day. There's some days, man, I get up and I'm just like, oh man, it's another day. But then my craft is what keeps me motivated. My craft is what keeps me going. So as soon as like you learn to truly honor your craft and be obsessed and fall in love with it, everything else is going to kind of like fall in line. It's like a chess game. You make the right move, and everything else figures itself out. And I think that starts with honoring your craft. You have to be obsessed with your craft.
Absolutely. And because a lot of people try to take shortcuts.
Oh,
they try
absolutely.
to cheat the grind.
You can't do that. It exposes itself every time. Like, you will be exposed.
You will. It will catch up with you eventually.
Oh, yeah.
It may not be today. It may not be next year. But eventually it's going to catch up.
You can't cheat the grind.
You cannot cheat it, man.
The grind.
You gotta be able to go through the entire process, right? Because if you don't, you'll be exposed. It's the difference between a diamond and zirconium. Zirconium, it can kind of look like a diamond.
Can look like it, yeah.
Until what? Until it's tested.
Yeah.
And so you can cheat the process if you want to, but when you get tested, you'll be exposed, right? And so you've got to honor your craft, man. You've got to honor your craft. Don't try to cheat it. Don't try to cheat it. So last but not least, all right, the one and only Nick Rusatz, man. Shout out to him. I really appreciate him. Heart Over Height is his brand. He's a basketball trainer. And his whole thing speaks for itself. Heart Over Height, right? He's not that tall, right? He was talking about how he's not that tall. That's where the name came from. But, it's your heart that matters, right? And we were talking about how it's not, in life in general, it's not about your height. It's not about, the family you came from, the background you came from, and all these different things, your circumstances, all of that stuff that you cannot control. Going back to Diamond Hall, control your focus, right? No, you can't control how tall you are. No, you can't control this or that. But one thing you can control is your heart, right? And I talked about in that episode, the Great Equalizer. Is hard work, right? All of those things that you can't control that might have went in your favor. You might not have the connections, right? You might not have the financial, but at the end of the day, hard work is the great equalizer. Talk about that, Cal.
Hard work, just like you said, man, you can't cheat the grind. Hard work speaks for itself. Like our man Pat Corn was saying, nobody cares, work harder. Because if your work speaks for itself. You don't have to be yapping and talking, because if you're truly putting in work, there's going to be results. Like, hard work speaks for itself. And when you continually put in that work, it's going to show. Like, it's a process. We know that it's a process. And a lot of people want things so quick that they cheat the grind, or they don't work as hard because they want things now. But hard work, you'll continuously see the fruits of your labor.
Right. So. Absolutely. And then another thing that he said was, once you start valuing your time, you're on your way. Once you start, he was talking about managing. He used to manage his time like in 15-minute blocks. Yeah. I'm like, gosh, dang it, But it challenged me. Like, you know what? That's the crucial, because as people, that's our most valuable asset. It's our time.
Our time. Think about that. Time is the one thing that you can never get back. The second that just went by, bro, that's another second that we'll never see again. We can never get that back.
Absolutely.
So once you truly learn how to control your time and make use of your time, that's a dangerous thing. Because time is something you can never get back, so we have to value our time.
Yeah. And one of my biggest issues involves in procrastination, right? And what procrastination is I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it later, and then later turns into never. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then you let time just slip by, right? But you have to, if you manage your time, like you said, control your time. I like that even better.
Gotta control
better
it.
Than managing it, control it. Instead of letting it control you, you control your day.
Because that's one thing you can control. You can control your time. You can control what you do with your time. But it's,
we all get the same time.
We all get the same 24 hours. It's what you make of your 24.
Exactly. Because it's not like Kobe had more time. Like, oh, it makes sense. That's why Kobe, he had more time. Absolutely not. He has the same time as you. It's all about what are you going to do with your time. How are you going to spend your time? How are you going to manage your time, right? Talking to Diamond about Fortnite, right? How, a lot of people play video games and stuff like that. Ain't nothing wrong with playing video games, but you better also get your grind in.
Absolutely.
Right? You better not spend 24 hours on that crap. You better not spend all your time doing stuff like that, right? There's nothing wrong with leisure.
Right.
At the end of the day, are you still getting your time in and managing your time? Instead of 2 hours doing that, do it for 1 hour, and then spend the other hour doing this, right? That's why it's good to write your stuff down, write your time down, what you're doing with your time every day, because then you can manage it like, okay, I can cut 30 minutes from that and put it here, and put this here. Literally managing, right, your time so that you can control your day, right? Because time flies, man.
It does, and it waits for nobody.
No waits for nobody. Like, you know how many times I was like, man, a year? That's long, man. I don't want to. And then I realized, like, oh, that was 5 years ago. I could have been had that done.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We look at stuff like, oh, that's going to take a year. Like, man, I don't got time for that. Then you look back 5 years, like, oh crap, I could have had that done 4 years ago.
Right.
You know, so time freaking flies, man. But that was it, man. That was this series, man. And we had amazing guests, man.
Absolutely. And shout out to all the people that came on, being a guest. We really appreciate them.
Absolutely,
Really
man.
appreciate all
Absolutely, because I think it's very important that, I thought it was important that we highlighted people.
Yeah.
And showed their journey and all of that, man. I couldn't have asked for a better list of guests, man. For real, it was amazing. I learned so much, right? And as I'm asking questions, I'm learning because it's not like I ain't made it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We are not where we want to be, and we'll
all.
never make it because we'll never be satisfied, right? Even when it seems like we still want more. We still want to create more value. We still want to bring more to other people. And so, we're never at a point where you cannot learn from other people.
Right.
You've got to always keep that learning mindset.
Yeah.
And so now, man, I truly believe as a brand, it's important that you have social responsibility, and ours, is you look at sports and you look at athletes, and you see Kevin Love and all these starting to come out and talk about mental health.
It's huge, man. It's a huge issue.
It's a huge issue. And like I said, I had an amazing opportunity on the radio, not just talking about the brand and Under Pressure and all of that stuff, but talking about mental health, right? Talking about what that means for kids in school and young athletes and stuff like that. Because, we freaking talk about, we make sure they get good grades, right? You see a kid, a lot of adults are like, well, how's school going? But the thing is, they might have straight A's, but you don't know if this kid is on the verge of killing himself.
Man.
He's getting good grades, though. So, but that's serious. It sounds like that was like kind of, straight to the point, but that's life.
No, it
right?
really is.
Because
yeah.
I know a kid, right? I know of a kid that was straight A's, great student, killed himself. So obviously that wasn't enough. Don't get me wrong, it's very important to do well in school. I'm not saying that's not important. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we realize that everybody's going through something. Everybody has a battle of the mind. Right? Everybody in the world, right? It's not just some people. Everybody's going through a battle of the mind. That's where the battle place is for us humans.
Everybody's got different demons they're battling, yeah.
Absolutely, man. And once we realize that, we can start being more aware, more present. And so that's something that I want us as a brand to start attacking and start bringing awareness to and start using our platform, not to just, we're going to do short films that inspire and motivate and brings up these type of things.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to continually do interviews. Yeah, we're going to continually bring value and all of that stuff. But I think it's also important that we have this responsibility and we bring the value in this as well, because it's something that I'm extremely passionate about, something that I truly care about. Because I see it in sports and with athletes and all of that, being a coach, being in sports and stuff like that. Talk about, Kyle, I want you to talk about your journey and your personal experience with mental health.
Man, it's real. It really is real. One of my favorite tattoos, man, right here is "You Don't Know My Story." Because everybody has a story. Everybody does. And my story, man, I personally battled with mental health and depression and stuff like that. But I was always too afraid or nervous to embrace it. And it wasn't until I embraced myself and realized that this is a real problem, like that not only I'm dealing with, that a lot of people are dealing with. So I began to embrace my story because, like I said, everybody has one. And you truly don't know what anybody's going through unless they tell you. They open up with their story. And so many people are dealing with the same things and mental issues and depression that if we really embraced it and addressed the issue, we could save lives and help other people. Because I know personally, man, when I opened up about my story and was able to talk about depression and how I was feeling and just my low days, I got help just knowing there was other people who I never would have thought who are going through the same thing as me. So you don't know my story, man. Everybody has a story, and the power of one story can change lives, especially with mental health now, man. I think it's something that needs to be embraced, especially in the millennial generation, because a lot of us are dealing with it, and a lot of us are too ashamed, to speak out against it. Speak out, but it really is something that we all have struggles, we all have battles. So with me, man, it was just embracing it. And then, as I embrace it, people confide in me. And that makes me feel good, man, that I became a person that people can confide in and talk to. Because I think that's, one of the reasons I'm placed on this earth. It gets bigger than me. my job here, I know for a fact my job here on this earth is to pour in and help other people. And I don't think that I'll be able to do that like I do now if I hadn't embraced my story and my mental battles, man. So I think more of us need to do that.
Absolutely, man. I love that you don't know my story.
Yeah, man.
That was the title of the episode of when we interviewed you 2 years ago. Because you came out, talked about your story, man, and everything. And everybody, like you said, has a story. Everybody has a battle. Everybody has their demons. Everybody has the things they're going through. And you really don't know, man.
And you're not alone, man. And I think dealing with things with other people and knowing you have a support system, it makes a huge difference. So I think that, yeah, the mental health thing is huge. And we, as, you know, a team, as a brand, we need to do our part, man, to use our platform to inspire other people, because that's what we're called here to do, bro.
Right.
It's always bigger than us.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And as we wrap this episode up right here, I really want to thank everybody that supported, that tuned in. Hopefully, you know, you guys got something from this series, because I know that I did, right? That I know that I did personally. I got so much from it. Hopefully you took something, that maybe a small thing that you'll carry with you for your life. You know, maybe if it's just one thing from one episode, you know, that's what it was for. Because I noticed, I talked to different people, and some people related more to certain episodes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's why it was good to have a pretty diverse group of people, and people that are doing different things, that went through different things, so that, you know, you may be able to relate to at least one of the episodes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm definitely excited for what's to come. More interviews are coming, right?
Absolutely.
It's not going to be a weekly thing like this was, but we're still going to be doing interviews. We're going to be doing short films too, as well. And so I'm very excited about that. Documentaries, all of that stuff. But before we end, Kyle, I'm going to ask you the questions.
Oh, man. All right, another question.
That we always ask.
Right.
And these questions you actually already have been asked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was 2 years ago.
Right.
So the first one is, actually this one is new, but what is your definition of greatness?
My definition of greatness. Oh, man. That's one. That's a good one. Kyle Logan's definition of greatness: being the best version of yourself. I think greatness relies within ourselves, and everybody has greatness in them. And when you're able to pull out the best version of you, you're able to be great and shine your light.
Exactly.
So my definition of greatness is becoming the best version of yourself.
And you know what? I couldn't agree with you more. I think that, you know, Kyrie's BTB, you know what I mean? Be the best version of yourself is literally greatness, man. And then because when you're your best version of yourself, you can now shine your light, like you said, so that other people can be the best version of themselves.
And everybody can be great.
Everybody can be great. You see what I'm saying? And so, last but not least, the great question. When it's all said and done, everything has happened for you. Everything that you've wanted to happen has happened. You've brought value to other people. What do you want people to say? Kyle Logan was
a positive influence in my life. Simple as that. Kyle Logan was a positive influence in my life. I want, when people bring up my name, I want them to be like, he did this, he did that, he made an impact. So yeah, I just want people to say that I brought value and was a positive influence in their life.
Absolutely, man. Amazing. Very good, Kyle, man.
Same questions for you, man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play Stu for a minute.
No.
What
All
is
right.
your definition of greatness?
And here's the crazy part about that. The crazy part about that is what you said is literally what I feel about greatness. You know, I don't want to be the kid in class like, oh, he took my answer.
Yeah, what he said.
But you know that kid. But I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
That's literally what greatness is. You know, striving to be the very best that you can be, so that then you can affect others in a positive way, and now that leads them to be the best version of themselves. You see what I'm saying? And you know, you just following your heart, and you know, following your thing, finding your thing, becoming obsessed with it, and take the idea of mastery, and you know, fall in love with every detail, being your best at whatever you do, so that then you can shine a light on other people, so that everybody can be great. Because if you are great, but it doesn't cause other people to be great, something ain't right.
Something not right.
You see what I'm saying? Something's not right. So I agree with you. Kyrie hit it right on the nail. Shout out to him. BTB, be the best version of yourself. That's what greatness is.
And when it's all said and done, you know, you're the next Spike Lee. You know, we do big things under pressure. What do you want people to say? Stu Holt was.
Stu Holt. And you know what's funny about this is my answer, it seems to change, right? Because my original answer, I used to ask myself this question like, okay, I always ask this question. what do I want people to say about me? Like, he was what? And this shout out to Ashley Towns, who we interviewed a while ago on our old podcast, and we asked her this question, and this is the answer she gave. And I love the answer so much that I made it a thing for my basketball team. That this is a phrase that we use to talk about somebody who does the dirty work, somebody that does things that may not always go noticed, that people may not always appreciate, but at the end of the day, if that person leaves, that's when you'll notice them. And
That's deep, man.
And that phrase that
That's
we
deep.
use is a game changer. It's a game changer. And now it's an award that we use at the end of our year ceremony for basketball. It's the Game Changer Award. And, you know, it's for the person who does the things that may not end up on the stat sheet. Right. You may not get the applause, right? You may not, you know, diving on the floor, there's no stat for that.
Right, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so, but at the end of the day, if you take that person away, people will notice.
Absolutely.
It's like a janitor, right? Nobody looks at the janitor like, oh, snap, there go the janitor.
Right.
But when you see the CEO, you're like, oh, there's the CEO. But the janitor, a lot of times, you don't really notice him until he doesn't do his job. Then you're like, man, it's stinking here. Or, oh, man, all this trash, it's dirty on the floor. Now you notice them because, you see what I'm saying? Because they're not there. And so at the end of the day, man, I want to bring value to people's lives, right? You know, I want to be able to inspire people. I want to be able to motivate people. I want people to realize that they can be the best version of themselves. I want people to believe in themselves. I want people to realize, like, you know what, I can be great. Not just the people I see on TV, right? I can be great. You know, as a coach, our job as well is to see things in other people that they might not see in themselves. You see what I'm saying? Well, you got to be able to see somebody as not of what they are now, but what they can be in 5 years. Then you have to be able to get them to see that vision, and then they'll start working towards it. You see what I'm saying? And so for me, and I might not get the applause. I might not get an award for that, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I want people to say, you know what? Stu was a game changer, man, and because of him, I believed.
That's deep, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so I appreciate it, Kyle, man. Appreciate you having you on. You know, my co-founder, a lot of great things are coming.
Big things coming.
With what we're doing. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Once again, thank you for watching the series. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. The apparel, as always, underpressuretv.com. Go and check it out. Follow us on social media, Under Pressure TV. Once again, go out, be great. Follow your passions, follow your heart, man, and pursue your greatness. Yes, sir.
From a place where the pain gon' show, from the block, watch your rose gon' grow. Put the show on the road, people doubted, so I'm kicking down the door. Oh no, I never sell my soul, gotta stick to the code. To the top, I ain't never coming down. Through the hurt, man, I still keep a smile. I'ma be here for a while, want the people around the world to hear the sound. Greatness, I ain't never stopping now, I ain't never stopping now. From a place where the pain gon' show, from the block, watch your rose gon' grow. Put the show on the